Hello there everyone, welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes roster review. So, don't worry, you're not going to be looking at my face for that long if I'm going to be honest. I just wanted to say Happy New Year to all of you. This video should be going live New Year's Eve UK time, so probably a couple of hours until New Year for myself at this point. So, Happy New Year to you all, and hopefully I'll be seeing some of you in the new year with roster reviews or just general chit-chat in comments or Twitch chat or any of that. So, hope to see you then. Have a good new year, folks. Okay, so we've got Wulf 11 here today. So, Wulf, you're rounding out the new year. I hope this is a bit of a nice Christmas present come late, New Year present come early. Your guild is SWGOH Press. I feel like Clancy Brown should be announcing this. I'm going to say, I love that guy. I love that guy's voice. I'm going to have to play Detroit Become Human now I've said that. If I'm allowed to. Okay, so we've got GP, 3.823 million GP. So just shy of 4, you're doing good. Top 80, 1.5 just over, very nice. Top 65, 1.3 just over, again, very nice. And ship GP, 1.734 million, so again, some good numbers there. For context, I've recently just got over 2 million GP on my middle account, my Crimson account. That's about 4.7 million GP, so you're doing very well there, so congratulations. Zetas, you got 46, no Omicrons at the time I'm looking. You've got 13 Gear 13s, and let's have a look. You've got, from those Gear 13s, you've got 3 Relic 7s, 1 Relic 6, 6 Relic 5s, and 3 4 and belows. So, an interesting spread. I think you've done well keeping the majority above Relic 5, so I would try and push that in the long run. Trust me, it'll do you good when CPIP becomes a big thing for you. And then, as far as mods, you got 125 plus, okay, 220 pluses, so again, a little bit of room for improvement there. 1215 pluses, I'm going to repeat myself, a bit of room for improvement there. And when it comes to your offense mods, you've got 2 over 4%. So that isn't bad. The 6% plus ones are really hard to get. It's why I've widened the margin for these reviews and when I do comparisons on Twitch streams. But yeah, 4%, maybe you could add one or two more, but I am absolutely nitpicking there, so yeah, don't worry about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm just going to pull up your account. We're going to look faction by faction as I always do. We're just going to see what you got, because I'm having a look at your roster just in a general sense before I go in, and I'm curious what you've got. I'm going to be honest. What you did say before we start, you did want one thing from your roster review. You said you've been playing for 5 years, you're going for SLKR, which we can see from the arena team, so you're wondering what you can do on the back burner. Interestingly, you were 3.5 million GP when you actually requested this, so yeah, sorry. In fairness, you got 300k in that time, so you've done well there as well. I really need to do these faster. I apologise to anyone who's waiting in the queue. Okay, so we're going to start at the top and move our way down. 501st. I'm going to say it just encompasses clones in my view. So, yeah, we haven't got too much here, if we're going to be honest. You could probably do something with them on 3v3 defense at the back wall or something, but yeah, we're not exactly pulling up trees with these, so I'm going to move along. Bad Batch, any sneaky little investments? You know, nothing gear related, but you have got 5 stars on Wrecker. That is promising. I mean, I say it like that for the simple reason you're probably going for the Y-Wing, which I think is great, just in the sense you're going for the Y-Wing. But I think you're getting them stars as well, so it does mean when you decide, because there will be a time you decide to go for Bad Batch, you'll be getting one of them pretty early, so nice to see. Bounty Hunters. Okay, we've got a Gear 12 Bosk and Boba. We've got a Gear 11 Dengar, Gear 11 Django, Gear 11 IG, and Gear 11 Cad Bane. What I would say, let's have a look at the actual modding you've got on Bosk. Okay, so we've got speed and health sets, okay. Let's have a look at the secondaries. So, well, primaries and secondaries. You've got speed on the primary, okay, tenacity, protection, health, nice mix. Let's see. We got crit chance. We don't really need that. Okay. Potency. I'm not buying that. I've said it before. I can understand to a degree potency as far as you might want to land this stun, but honestly, in the end, you don't really want it. It feels a waste having potency when you can go for tenacity or protection. So for me, bin it. And then we got the primary here, protection, very nice. Speed, good. Potency, crit chance, offense. I wouldn't really go for any of these myself. Okay, so let's have a look at the diamond. Defense. You got the protection and tenacity, but you do need speed. So, yeah, sorry about that. And again, no speed here. So, I'm not too optimistic going into the stats here. Yeah, 220. That is quite slow for Bosk. There's two ways you can mod tanks. So this is just for everyone, by the way. In general, there are two types of tanks in the game. Ones that you want fast, ones that you want slow. Bosk is one that you want fast. You want him taking as many turns as possible, getting that taunt up. It's simply put, he has got to trigger his taunt. So you need him to take turns so he can get the taunt up. Now, there are taunts in the game like Sith Empire Trooper that are quite passive, where his allies create the taunt. So therefore, you kind of want him slow, so that taunt is harder to remove. So, Bosk isn't one of those. Bosk needs to take turns. So, even if we are trying to make him thick, we're trying to put protection and tenacity on him, and even defense if you can find some. Really, speed is the main priority. So, you've got the right mod sets. You know, I think probably the only thing I would change is go speed and tenacity. If you want to be greedy, you could go all tenacity and just get good speed secondaries, but that seems to be your challenge right now. Looking at your stats, you've got not a lot over 20 plus. So that needs to become a priority for you as far as modding. Just try and get those 20 pluses. I'm not even saying 25 pluses because I know they're difficult, but just try and roll those 20s. If you need help with that, then again, in the comments, just talk with me. I'm more than happy to help. Granted, I always feel like I'm a bit incompetent when it comes to modding in that way, but I'm more than happy to tell you what I do at the very least. Okay, so I laugh at these videos, I tell you. I honestly think to myself, why do people watch me? Okay, so primary are not great again. You need some speed, sorry. Either speed or offense, and only offense if you've got good speed secondaries. So I'm sorry, not exactly ideal that. We've got offense primary there, so that is good. Again, no speed though. Yeah, no, we got a little touch of speed there, but the primary's out. You need an offense primary. Yeah, you've got the right mod sets again, so you've got that going for you. The difference is, it's alright having the mod sets, but you haven't got the speed to go with it. So it's like 175. It's a bit painful seeing it, because at 175, a lot of characters or a lot of good players in the game will just run circles around that Boba Fett. So I get it, speed is tricky to get for some people, but equally you've just got to keep gambling on your mod rolls. So ideally with Boba, and I'll see if I can bring a copy up on my screen right now. With Boba, you want crit damage and crit chance like you've got. However, you want a crit damage triangle. You want the primary there, crit damage. And then here you want an offense primary. So that'd be the way I'd go. Like I said before, you could go for an offense primary up here if you have got fantastic speed. So we're talking 20 plus minimum. But that is purely because then you're losing 10 from the primary. So yeah, that'd be how I'd look at it. But speed, it's not a must on Boba. I mean, again, hopefully I put mine on screen by now. Mine isn't fast. Mine's probably about 240, but it's still quick enough that it can sort of follow the lead of the other bounty hunters. So again, just keep this in mind. It'll make your gameplay a lot more smooth, and it'll make your counters a lot better as well. Dengar, and so you got a load of health on him. That tends to be a good way to do him, just for the fact that he actually doesn't need speed that much, but what he does need is a bit of survivability, because he's going to get potency. He's going to get tenacity as well as potency, I believe. Let me just check that. Against tenacity up there, so it's not necessarily potency, but he's mini-mine mayhem, To be honest, it's quite a consistent hit. I mean, there's not a lot of times I use that ability and I think, ooh, I wish Dengar had a bit more potency. So he gets tenacity from his kit. He doesn't really need the potency, so really he just needs survivability because he takes enough turns that he can generally survive anyway. So yeah, just modding for survivability, which by the looks of it you've done. Crit chance, I wouldn't mod for it, but again, I wouldn't say it's bad. Protection, I'd probably go offense because he is an attacker, but again, protection kind of fits in with what I'm saying. And yeah, speed's okay there. I'm thinking tenacity doesn't need, the health is probably good, so it's not a bad mod, that. It's just not one I'd particularly keep. So yeah, I've gone through them. Django, I'll have a quick look at Django. What's his speed? 189, okay. Remember Django's lead. Again, we've talked about boss lead as far as modding for protection and tenacity before. Django lead as an alternative is great. That speed bump can be really good, especially if you haven't got great speed mods. It's just something that'll give you that little bump and just make sure you can actually get out the gate a bit quicker. So certainly worth considering that down the road, but you would need Zetas to really make it kick. Also, just adding to that, Zam, she's got her Omicron now. You haven't leveled her up, so you can't really use that yet, obviously. But Shapeshifter, I would recommend it. It's quite a safe little Omicron, if I'm going to be honest. It's helped me counter Darth Revan, so yeah, take that as you will. Okay, by the way, I will try to make little mental notes as I'm going along here, just to see what factions you've got, because I will try and help with GA thoughts. I've said I'm going to do that. It's not the easiest thing for me, but I will try and see what we can do. Okay, so here we've got the Empire. We've got Relic 7 Vader. Now, this is going to be a big thing. I am curious how you've got him modded. 200 speed, so not fantastic to say the least. 100% potency, I like that. I like that. Okay. We've got a little bit of damage. I say a little bit. Could be a bit more. Alright, I need to have a look at these primaries. So, speed. Whew. Yeah, that would actually be great on a tank. When I was talking about tanks before, that would kind of suit a tank. Maybe not boss, because he benefits more from protection and tenacity than just plain old defense, but something like General Kenobi, he could benefit from that. I mean, it's not health set, but if you want to just do two health sets and a potency set, you could actually use that. That's just one off the top of my head anyway. Let's have a look at the rest. So you got 10 speed here with a bit of potency, so that's nice. You've got 12 with 2 offense, that's good. Okay. Tenacity is a little high, but again, that could probably work somewhere else down the road. Right now, it's just one odd mod. Crit chance, don't really need that. So that's probably the one you could swap. I mean, if we're talking about maybe subbing that out as well. So far, the 2 crit damage have been okay, so let's have a look at the next 2. Okay, no speed here. Okay. You got a bit of offense, but that's the only thing that's going for Vader there, so yeah, need to get something better on for Vader. And then potency, I've been a big advocate for potency primaries on Vader, so I like that. Not so fond of all this. The offense, in principle, is good. What I would say is it's low. I mean, at Relic 7, offense percentage mods, i.e. offense percentage versus like flat offense like that, they are good. The issue I'm seeing here is that the offense percentage is low. Now, I don't know where they are yet because I haven't been able to see through your roster, but you've got 2 offense mods that are pretty good. Let me see, can I actually hunt them down? Probably not. No, I can only see your best speed mods. But what I'm thinking is, if you can actually get those mods that are 4% or higher, and you'll find them in your secondaries, you know, you can, if you go on, I think it is, hang on, let me show you on my own screen. Here we go. So, if you go on each character's list, click on your mods. I'm just going to click on 5 for any old character. Then what we're going to do, we're going to make sure we can see all of our characters. We're going to sort by offense percentage. and then you can see who's got the highest. So right now my Rex has got the... Oh, hang on. You do have to turn off the primaries. So turn off... Make sure it doesn't select a offense primary set. There we go. So the highest offense secondary I've got is 4.5 on Grievous, which isn't bad, to be honest. In fact, I'd be tempted to roll that. So, yeah, I mean, sorry, I was actually looking at my mods there. I'm thinking, yeah, I could gamble on that rolling. I could maybe get up to 16 speed, which isn't a priority for me with Grievous, but it could come in handy. But equally, I could get a roll on that 4.5 and maybe get close to 6. The gamble is that I could also hit the 2 defense, which I've not had a roll yet. So I would probably leave that, but in principle, if I really, really wanted offense, I could gamble on it. So that is the way to do it. I mean, if I just go there, we've got speed here, but we've also got 4.5 on the secondary with the Ahsoka. If I just skip the Shaq mod, we go to Arc. We've got a bit of speed, but we've got offense as well. Hopefully this is just helping anyone who's just curious how you find offense percentage mods, because they aren't the easiest things in the game to find, but this is the way to hunt them down. And if I'm in your shoes, hunt them down and put them on your Vader. Because I know you're working on other teams, like you've got a different arena team, but honestly, I think to myself, make sure your Vader's working, because if Vader hasn't got offense, he kind of hits like a wet noodle anyway. So you don't really want to add to that. I mean, this is all post-nerf anyway. I mean, before the nerf, he was hitting incredibly well. I mean, I bet even with respect, if you hadn't got the right mods on, at Relic 7 he was still hitting well. But I imagine now he's not hitting as good. So this is all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make it that you've got a decent Vader, because I think if anyone does say, oh, Vader sucks now, at least then you can say, he's not as good as he was, but he's better. He's better than he was after the nerf, if you like. So that is my advice to you. We might even see him as we're going through your roster, but it could be that I skip over him by accident. If I do, then what you want to do, just find him in your roster, put them on the toon you want the offense on. Because I'm pointing at Vader, it could be that you want to put on a First Order toon who needs offense. If it does, again, I'll bring it up. But yeah, this is the plan. We're making a plan. Okay, Thrawn. How fast is your Thrawn? I'm not seeing a speed set there, so this is concerning. 212. Okay. Gear 12. Yeah, Gear 12, you really need to be shooting for 300. I say it to everyone. It's kind of the big thing for Thrawn. Every other single stat on Thrawn's roster, it's a luxury after speed. So, you know, it's like if you look at his mastery, accuracy, crit avoidance, damage, they're all cool. That is the golden stat. In this game, they talk about speed a lot as far as speed rules. For Thrawn, it does. I'm going to say you want Thrawn to be quick so that he can always make that first turn, or at least take the second turn after, say, a Vader, so that then he can choose essentially who takes a turn, or if he wants to get Fracture out. Okay? So, gotta get faster. Okay, with that in mind, I'm going to move on from the M-Packs. Again, I may be being harsh, but I also think when you were talking, well, when you wrote your comment to me and you said, right, I'm thinking, what should I be working on? I'm looking and I'm thinking, on the back burner, say you're doing your SLKR farm right now. I don't even know how far off you are. We'll look at First Order in a second. Work on your mods. Honestly, this is probably the best time for you to say, right, 350 crystal refreshes a day, I'm just going to farm mods. So you can either be slicing them, i.e. farming the slicing materials, or you can go into the challenges, getting bulk buying mods, and then slice. Even down the road, if you've got loads of credits, you can buy them from the mod store. That would be, for my opinion, that would be what you should be doing. Just farm your mods up, because mods win games. If you look at my grand arenas, the number of times I think, right, I'm at a disadvantage here, this guy's got this many toons, I've got this many toons, but I have got more mods that are good than him. 9 times out of 10, I get a good result. The other time is because I'm quite hopeless at this game at times, but the 9 out of 10 times is because I've got good mods. Alright, so yeah. Ewoks, it's alright, I try and be funny in these videos just so that people don't get bored listening. I think to myself, I hope people understand what British humour's like. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 7-star Ewoks. Chirpers, worked on. He needs a bit more, obviously, to do 3PO, but you're getting there. Tebow's there as well, so maybe you've got 3PO. Maybe. Okay. Now we're talking. So I'm looking here and I'm thinking this looks like the entire First Order crop. I'm not seeing one that is out. Yeah, let me just... I'm thinking it through in my head. The SLKR team is... sorry, I've got to count these in my own mind. You've got Crew, Hux, Trooper and Stormtrooper. And then if you were to do another team, it would be Phasma, TIE Pilots, Executioner and Officer. And then Kylo's got a solo. So yeah, you have got all of them done. Sorry about the wait there, I was just counting them. You're one behind on Palps, so a bit unlucky there. I would say though, I'm going to skip ahead briefly. I'm curious if you've got Veton. Ooh, Gear 12, so you are really on the cusp. Yeah, I won't spoil the ending here a bit, but how are your ships looking? So you've got TIE Advance, you've got the Command Shuttle, that one's the big one. So I would say, if you've got that, you've probably got everything else. I mean, you've got Xanadu, IG. Yeah, you look ready. You look ready. Well, saying that, you've even got the finalizer 5-star. I should have just gone straight to the end there. But yeah, that is great. So it is just Veton and Palpatine holding you back. So well done. I mean, let's have a look through your First Order. Let's see how they're looking, because it could be you've got stuff here that you don't want on, say, a Vader or something. Okay, so looks like a thick build for crew in principle. 72k protection. 18.9% armor. Alright, I like that. Yeah, I mean, okay, the primary's a bit out there. If I'm being hypercritical, the primary's out. I could actually say you could probably swap that mod out. Defense I like. Speed, not that necessary on crew, but again, I'm not going to say no. Again, I love that primary though. I mean, yeah, I'm thinking to myself, it's a shame the secondaries don't really back it up. I'm looking and thinking, could you have a defense secondary or protection or... Well, it isn't even protection in mod 4, I forgot, it's health. So, yeah, it's a bit of a shame for the secondaries there. Yeah, another little thing, health primaries. When you're doing when you're prepping for an SLKR team, you mod for health for the simple reason you probably get as much health steal as anything in SLKR battles. Just for the fact that the side tunes to SLKR, you know, your crews, your First Order Stormtroopers, they die very fast. So if you're trying to keep them in the game, you're going to be doing health steal. You know, you're not going to be able to get protection back that much. So put more health on, that way they've got more chance of recovering. So, yeah, that'd be the way I'd be thinking. Let's have a look at Hux. 215. Okay, I've got to say it again, that's very slow. I mean, I am sorry if you're watching this and you're thinking he's just talking about my speed, but it really gets important to this part of the game, if you like. I mean, a speed arrow, it's a must. A must. Yeah, defense primary isn't bad there. I mean, I wouldn't go for it personally, but I wouldn't say it's wrong either. I mean, to be fair, with Hux, there isn't really a bad triangle. There's probably, with Hux, there's probably more that you don't want to put, say, crit damage on him because he isn't a damage dealer. But that's the only kind of thing I'd say. You know, defense works great because it keeps him in the game a bit. Same with health protection. Even crit chance, I wouldn't mod for it, but if you've got it and it gives you good secondaries, I'd do it. Again, the only ones I wouldn't put on are crit damage and offense for the simple reason they're harder to get in my opinion, and other toons will want them. Similar here, you got offense there, you don't really need that. You could afford to put health, any of those I've just mentioned on there. Speed, yeah, you need speed. Potency isn't that hard, he is quite potent actually, I think. Let me have a look. Yeah, I mean, just look at that as well, tenacity before even gets modded, he's 100%, so you do not need tenacity, really. I mean, unless you are really trying to make sure someone doesn't debuff him. It's a little bit of overkill in my view. Potency, again, I wouldn't really say it's a big thing. In fact, when he's in an SLKR team, you don't really want him being too potent, because if he's removing turn meter, gaining turn meter, I should say, he will be hurting himself via SLKR's unique. So potency really isn't a must for Hux. But yeah, key thing for him, speed. I've gone a specific way with my modding. I've put a crit avoidance arrow on him purely because it feeds into the mastery, but I have got high speed on the crit avoidance arrow, so try and keep that in mind as well, because you're at that part of the game where you do need to get your modding good. I mean, I say you need to. You don't need to do anything. You know, you can play the game how you want, but if you want to get good, then your modding's got to step up a notch. Because, yeah, Hux is such a big part of these teams. And, yeah, if Hux is modded bad, then it doesn't matter if you've got Galactic Legends. Some teams could still walk over them. I mean, I was watching a video just before I recorded this. I think it was Darth Pear, and he took in a CLS against a SLKR team. And he didn't one-shot it, you know, he had to take in 2 cleanup teams, but the the CLS was just able to sort of burn a few turns, and then I think it was Sith he took in, or Empire, one of the two, and then he took it, it was Imperial Troopers and then Empire that he took in to clean up. And, you know, it sounds like a lot, but it was still enough that he could get the clear because of it. Now, my concern here is that with speeds like that, a CLS could probably still take enough turns around, despite the fact that SLKR has got naturally high speed. So it's where I'm wary. I don't want to go on and on and on about speed, but I just want to really reinforce it, just to see if I can get you. Like, say we do these 6 months reviews down the line, I'd love it if I came back and I went, wow, you've really improved your speed mods. So that's where I'm aiming here. Yeah, with that, I'm actually going to move on just a little bit, okay? Because I've got to applaud you for your first order there already. You're only missing 2 SLKR requirements. So yeah, all I can say really is good luck with the event, because it's not overly difficult, but you could trip up. So just watch the guides online. I've got a video myself when I did it. Plug. But yeah, just enjoy it. I think that's the key thing I can say. Try not to get frustrated by the tickets. Okay, Galactic Republic. So, Padme Kenobi. That's looking okay. Ahsoka and Anakin. GMY. I'm curious if you've worked on anything here deliberately. Because Cody's up to 66. I'm guessing that's a little reference. But yeah, I'm thinking you wanted a Padme team. But yeah, it's going to be a squishy Padme team, isn't it? Yeah, I don't really know what to add to this, unfortunately. I'm thinking you'll be okay. It'll do some stuff in GA. I think it might need some more still. Let's have a look at your Geos. Anything here? Okay, full set of Geos. That's nice to see. The one thing I will say about Geos. Okay, the one thing I will say before I say that one thing about Geos. Accuracy. Bin it. Even though it's got 11 speed, it goes straight in the trash. It sounds harsh again. I'm back on speed. I'm sorry. But yeah, I was hoping that wouldn't pop up at any point. But yeah, accuracy arrows, you bin them. It doesn't matter what speed's on. There's nothing in this game that needs accuracy. Why the developers put accuracy mods in is a mystery. I can only assume they put them in as something for people to sell and gain credits. Because, yeah, the most use you could maybe get out of accuracy is if you modded, say, General Skywalker for accuracy. And it's because you constantly use him in a team where he loses mastery. That's the only reason I can think where you would mod for accuracy. So, yeah, with all respect there, just try and replace that ASAP. I mean, I would bin it straight away myself, but that is just me. I recognise you've got 11 speed there, so you might want to save it for a time, but as soon as you can, bin it. But what I was going to say, just before I went on that little rant, yeah, Gear 12 Geos, they don't need speed. You know, oddly enough, when I'm talking about that, they are just this team that if someone hasn't got a counter, it doesn't matter if your Geos are fast, slow, whatever, they will not beat them. So yeah, Geo's a very fun team for that. You don't really need to worry about the mods as much. You can just sort of let them loose. What I would say, if you're going to put them on GA defense, a little bit of speed doesn't hurt them, just so that, you know, they take the first turn. But equally, if you use them on offense, as long as they going against a team that hasn't got AoEs or hasn't got high damage that can take out your brute very quickly, they should be fine. Alright, troopers, we had a quick look there, so not a lot else to look at there. Jedi. Okay, so you got the old-fashioned JKR team. Takes me back that. What is your JKR speed? Okay, 206. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to move on from it. Jolie. Okay, we're not looking at speed here, we're looking at health. Now, I'm looking at these two stats, and one is bigger than the other, and one is bigger than the other incorrectly. Health more than protection. So protection, wrong, unfortunately. Crit chance, Tenacity, good. I like tenacity. Tenacity on Jolie, it's such an uncommon thing. I've had people who I respect in this game come up to me and say tenacity isn't needed on Jolie because he gets 100% tenacity and he's unique. And when they say it, I remind them that he also gains bonus crit avoidance equal to half of his tenacity. So essentially, the more tenacity you have, the harder it is for an opponent to crit your Jolie. And if they're not critting him, they're not dealing as much damage. So it's a fairly simple equation, but for some reason it sometimes goes over people's heads. So yeah, my advice, if you ever take him to Relic especially, mod for tenacity, early on, just make sure you got health primaries, health mod sets. Then whatever speed and health secondaries you can slip in. Okay. Let's have a look. We'll skip the rest of your Jedi. I think they're the key ones I've looked at. Any Mandos? Okay, nothing too special here as far as things I want to shout and talk about. Sabine at Gear 10 though. Respect for that. Night Sisters. Okay. I've seen Night Sisters like this on my own account, so I know the pain. We will move on. Old Republic. Okay, you're making good progress for Darth Revan, I suspect, based on these. T3 as well at Gear 11. That's an interesting investment. I think that might be one of the highest T3s I've actually seen, to be fair. So, yeah, congratulations, I guess. Rebels. Okay, CLS at Rally 3. That feels like JKL was on your mind there. Gen Knight Luke. Okay, I'm here again. And again. And again. And again. 6. That is a super slow CLS. Oh, wee. Okay, I need to say it. I'm sorry. I need to say it. I'm going to get a sore tongue if I don't. I'm just from biting my lip. But I'm looking at your roster. You've got 3 Relic 7s. You've got... Well, actually, if I just go in total, you've got 66 Relics. Or 66 Relic levels. So, like, 1 to 7 would be 7 Relics. And, yeah. Out of them 66, 3 of these are CLS. That, to me, says you need good mods on him. And, yeah. He needs love to... I'm going really stokey then. Sorry. Yeah, but he needs some love, honestly. It's a little bit painful. I mean, the only thing I can say, right, again... watch... Well, I was going to say watch, but leave a comment if you want. I will give you more details on CLS as far as how I mod him. But the general gist, speed primary, offense primary, offense or tenacity primary, and then it doesn't really matter for the circle. The sets you want are an offense set and I'd say a crit chance set, just for the fact that crit chance is still viable for CLS. And then it's the idea that you just want to try and flood him with as much speed as you can. But he doesn't need to have crazy speed. He doesn't need like 340 or something. I mean, I think for yourself a reasonable goal would be about the 260 to 280 mark. I mean, it's a high mark for now. I mean, we're looking there and you think that is still a long way to go. But if you start working on your mods, start getting those 20 pluses, that is achievable. And this is the way I'll be looking at it. You've got those relic tunes. Say to yourself, between now and say June, say, right, can I get these tunes I've got at relic faster? Make it a little personal challenge for yourself. Because you've got a lot of good work on this account. You've got a lot of good tunes. You've got some work to be done. You know, some factions are a little light, but that happens everywhere. So it's just a case of, can you actually take the next step now? Can you actually make these tunes really, really threatening in your roster? Let's have a look at a Chewie. I haven't looked at a Chewbacca for a bit, I don't think. Alright, I like this build, in theory. Tenacity, yeah. Speed, tenacity. Offense, speed, offense. Speed, offense, tenacity. I like it. Alright, I worry I'm sounding a bit condescending now, as if I'm coming out as if say, yeah, you got one. But honestly, this is how I would go. I mean, a little bit more speed again. You know, Chewie doesn't need to be too fast because he's attacking at a turn a lot, but just a bit more so that he takes a few more turns. But yeah, you got tenacity, which I love on Chewie. I think, if you haven't, especially if you've got 3PO and Chewie, Chewbacca just needs tenacity so that he doesn't get stunned and dazed as easily. So yeah, I'm loving the modding strat there. Have you got 3PO and Chewie in the works? You've got him at 5-star, very nice. Out of my curiosity, are you thinking about JKL? Because that at 5-star, Rolo at 7, Captain On at 4? Maybe not, but you've maybe asked the question, let's say that. Alright, I'm moving on. Resistance. We've seen your vet on. I'm going to say, really hope you get that soon. Yeah, you've probably just done the bare minimum you need here. I mean, you've got everyone except for Vet Smuggler Chewie for Ray Jedi training. So that might be one to do. Like, if you're talking about little side projects, you know, I've talked about mods enough in this review already, but if you're thinking about what to do next, I would say just try and finish off Vet Smuggler Chewie. He's far easier than when he first came into the game, and it will give you a good tune. And the little side projects as well, which is something I've tried doing on my main, and I've just not had time to properly gear them. But get the Resistance heroes up. Both of them can really make a Ray Jedi training team a lot more deadly. I feel a bit for you though, putting a Zeta on Ray, Scav and Vet when really it's BB who could have had them. Even Finn. Yeah, 2 Zetas there, you could have probably put 1 each there. So, a little bit unlucky that. Vet Smugglers isn't bad. It's not one I've gone for, but I've looked at it a few times and thought, should I? But Ray Scav, it's like, I just can't really recommend it. I mean, Days for 2 turns isn't bad, but can it be resisted? Let me just double check that. It can't be resisted. Okay, so that isn't too bad, but yeah, I wouldn't really go out my way and Zeta it. I'll be honest. It's she's very much a glass cannon, so if she hits hard, you probably could get some good use out of it. But yeah, I'm not entirely sold on that. Scoundrels. So we've seen a fair few of these. I like these Stormtrooper Hans at Gear 11. That's something I want to do one day. So congratulations on that. A little bit slow again, not too big a surprise. Crit Avoidance, that's not a bad way to go. You do need a bit of speed on Han, don't forget. You need him to take a turn. But in principle, I like the idea. A bit of speed in the secondaries would be good. Defense is alright. Again, just a bit of speed. Really, you want speed instead of these two. Or one of those two, I should say. Offense you don't need, so that one can be subbed out. Again, the secondaries are okay there. Health, protection, tenacity, defense. So a little bit unlucky on the primary. Okay, 3-dot mod. Sell. Bin it. You know, I can give maybe a little bit of leeway over that accuracy arrow on Brood Alpha. That can go straight in the bin. That can go in the bin and don't blink an eye. That is garbage. Garbage, garbage, garbage. Okay, so what we've got here. We've got defense, speed, protection, health. Very nice tank mod. And then we've got tenacity, protection, defense. Again, just a little bit unlucky here as far as you've not got any speed really. If you can just get that speed, you've actually got a nice idea of the mods. It's just, you do need the speed. I'm so sorry I keep bringing it up. It feels, I'm boring myself over it, but I feel I have to do what I'm setting out to do, which is to help. And this is a very painful way of doing it. Dooku's got his Zeta, so very nice, very nice. Okay, I'm going to ignore that. Potency, looking good. And say offense, he doesn't really hit hard, Dooku, but yeah, you've got the potency on, he'll get some stuns. You got what? Very nice. The fact that he's at 5-star though, that tells me that you've not put a Zeta on him by choice. That's a little bit concerning. And say mass manufacture, it is by far one of the best Zetas in the game. It says at the start of battle what gains 30% turn meter. When the Zeta goes on, he just takes a turn straight away. Unless Han's on the field, then Han goes first. But yeah, it's such a great ability that, I mean, number of times it can help you in a battle. Just don't think, pop that Zeta on when you get a chance. And pop some mods on him as well, just so he can survive a few hits. I say that, he probably wouldn't survive the hits anyway, but still, mods don't hurt. Mods are our friends. Sith. Okay, so we looked at those three we looked two at the three briefly, or one of the three. I'm sorry, I haven't really looked at these two. BSF. Yeah. Where I would mod BSF, you've got speed, that's nice. Offense, that is a way to go. Bit of speed and offense there. Defense, yeah, I wouldn't really go for defense. I'd be going more for crit chance or damage, or even just something vanilla like health or crit chance. So yeah, defense is very meh. But yeah, again, the golden rule of BSF speed. If you do a Darth Revan team, you want a turn order in the long run, where Darth Revan takes a turn first, Darth Malak follows, and then Bastila Shan Fallen. So yeah, you want it pretty quick. Okay, last faction, pretty much. Yeah, your Marauder needs a bit of work. Sith Empire Trooper as well. You'll get there. Okay, so overall thoughts on this. I would say, I repeat what I've actually said already, that there's a lot of good stuff here. SLKR for starters. That's going to do you great. My concern would be, with a roster like this, and I'm thinking of mods, I'm sorry, I'm bringing them up again. My concern is you could get to the event and you could struggle purely because your mods aren't ready. And I'm not saying you can't do it. By all means, if you come back to me and say, you know what, I've actually beat that, great. I'm not going to tell anyone you can't do something. But if we've been putting cards on the table, if you had better mods, it would increase your chances. So that is what I'm looking at. I'm thinking, I mean, when you think the first tier of the SLKR event, it's 15 times 6 tickets, so it's 90 tickets to do it. Have I counted that right? I think I've counted that right. Then it's 30 tickets 4 times, so another 120 for tier 2. And then it's 60 times 3, so that is 180 tickets. So it takes a long time to do that event, and if you lose one round, it feels it feels terrible because you've got to re-earn them tickets. I mean, I just wouldn't want someone going through that if I could help. So my advice would be just try and work on your mods as quick as you can. There's even an argument to slow down your farming. Just try and give yourself time to get better mods. But I respect that you wouldn't want to do that after coming this far. So yeah, I'm just thinking good luck, because you've probably got good tanky mods. You know, maybe not fast mods, but you've probably got a fair bit of survivability in some of your teams. So maybe that will help you. But yeah, I'm just not seeing speed, which is one of the killer things you need. One thing with the opening tiers that may help is Kylo Ren. Lash Out. It grants allies with advantage and first order allies 25% turn meter. Remember, you can use that to try and keep giving turns to your team, so it's not something that is ultra reliable as far as if Kylo gets stunned, you know, you kind of can get stuck. But it may just get you out of a bind as far as if your speed isn't high, you could probably still cope with that. Or you could get a 2 meter train of your own going. But yeah, I'm just going to switch topic here. I'm going to go to GA briefly because what's the runtime here? I've been recording 50 minutes, so that's a lot longer than I thought. So briefly go on to GA. You're in a good position right now with your squads. You're only missing SLKR from the First Order faction, so you've got 2 teams there. You could do a Kylo Ren on Mass team and a General Hux team. I would advise putting Phasma in one of those 2 because Phasma leader's a bit yucky in GA. So yeah, put Kylo Ren and under Kylo Ren on Mast. Put General Hux with Sith Trooper and First Order Stormtrooper, and then whoever you want elsewhere, pretty much. So that's 2 teams. Hux is surprisingly good on defense, so I wouldn't rule out him doing okay for you there. Kylo's a staple on defense as well, so got a good chance there. Yeah, your Jedi, they'll do good on offense. You could get some good banner recovery there. Geos as well, I find are good on offense because you can do banner recovery there. Once you've killed the key threatening tunes, you can just slow down, wait for GBA to get its conscription ability back. So yeah, that is good offensive team. Padme, from what I saw, your Padme team wasn't that great, so you could probably put that on defense just as something to hold people up. Similarly, Bounty Hunters, maybe a good defense team. Rebels, I didn't see a whole lot of Rebels. You've obviously got CLS Han and Chewie, but maybe you could throw in Stormtrooper Han and R2 or Leia. So you've got a few options there, but maybe not top tier. Again, it looks like you're working on 3PO and Chewie, and you will need C3PO to actually make a full CLS team. But when that's available, that's a very good offensive team. I didn't actually point it out before, but your resistance. You could make something of that. While you're waiting for Rey Jedi Train, you could probably do Finn lead with BB-8, Vet Smuggler, Han, Rey, and R2. I could have just said the top row there. But give Finn a Zeta, he's surprisingly good. These 2 would make him better. But yeah. Finn lead, still pretty good, so don't rule it out. But again, that's not bad in defense as well. Some people just do trip up over it. Try and think what else we're looking at. Old Republic. What I would suggest there, and this is something I've done myself recently. If you're doing Old Republic, the key thing there is that some people will, and I say some people, I do it myself. If you see Karth, Z, Mission, T3, Candaris, or Juhani as a 5, 5 of them 6 in a team, you can do a solo. You can take in Kylo Ren, you can take in Nest, sometimes even Wampa if they're well modded, and it can wipe them out. However, if you only take in Karth, Z, Mission, and I'll say Candy, but it could also be Juhani. So if you take these 2, Mission, and one of these 2, and then if you throw in Count Dooku, it prevents solos because Dooku will stun the person who's trying to solo you. So it's a simple thing, but it may just trip someone up. Also, Wat Tambor isn't a bad shout there. You could put tank tech onto Big Z. And yeah, Zalbar could really make some good use of that tank tech. So there are options. I'm not saying you've got to do them, but if you're thinking about ways to make your GA defense a little bit more tricky, just try and avoid doing a full 5 Old Republic. I haven't really touched on them, Separatists, as far as droids. It's not a strong team, but you could put GG droids down. It wouldn't really stop anyone, but it forced people to use a team. You haven't really got a second Separatist team. You could maybe do Newt, Dooku, Django, Asajj, Wat. All those 4 and a tank. So again, Stormtrooper Han could come into play. But yeah, if you do what I said before and put Dooku with the Old Republic, you'd only have 3. Maybe if you put Wat in there, it's 4 and then a tank. Maybe drops a bit in viability when you do that, because Dooku really makes that team tick. But Newt on defense is solid, so I would advise at the very least trying to put a team around Newt Gunray. You can trip people up with extortion. But yeah, I don't know how many I've listed there off the top of my head, but I feel like I did list a few factions. Empire are solid on offense. If you've got Mara Jade from the recent Marquee, just get her up to Gear 7 or 8. If you can afford a Zeta, which I respect a trick to get still, but if you do get a free Zeta at some point, pop it on the the special. I think it was that was the good one. It was the one where Palpatine gains 2 meter as well as Mara. So that's a fun one for GA. But yeah, in general, I feel like I've said enough here. If there were particular questions you want, then I'm more than happy to answer in the comments. Or if you're on my Discord server, I think I've left a comment to the Discord server on my description for the video. If it isn't working, leave a comment and I'll post a fresh link to it. But yeah, I'm going to say, feel free to just shout away and just ask questions. Same to anyone. If anyone's got questions for me, if anyone's got questions for Wulf here, just leave a comment, because that's the best thing about these, just having a little chit chat about what we've seen, what's going on. We can actually discuss how to improve everything together. So yeah, comments are always welcome. But yeah, I'm going to leave it there, folks. I hope this hasn't been too rough, Wulf. I always worry I'm being too hypercritical as far as coming across as nasty. Whereas it is simply down to the fact I want people to do well at the game. I want them to have fun playing the game. So again, I really hope I haven't put you off here in any way. But yeah, New Year's coming. I hope everyone has a good year. And hope to see you all in the new year. So yeah, see you later, folks. Bye for now.